hasn't launched yet. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Comedy Pinata. Did you know car repossession is on the rise? Do you know you also have every right to stop a repo guy from taking your car? Consumers have broad rights to stop a car repossession from happening, and that is where the law firm at Sue the Collector can help you. If your car is about to be repossessed or your car was repossessed, you verbally told them to stop and leave your car alone, or physically hurt or injured by the repo agent, or they took the wrong car altogether, you may have a case. The attorneys at Sue the Collector specialize in wrongful car repossession, can help you or your loved one. If you or your loved one were injured, lost valuables, or wrongfully had your car repossessed, call us now at 1-877-BAD-REPO. 1-877-BAD-REPO. Again, 1-877-BAD-REPO. We are back. A brand new episode of Comedy Pinata here at the Historic Zanies with our good friend Reno Collier. And Reno, as good news, you just finished taping your new hour special.
I did. And it was freaking awesome.
Los Angeles?
In Los Angeles. For
Hitcore. Now, Hitcore is due to come out soon. Is that correct? Or
Yeah,
it's in beta mode or something right now?
It's a new streaming service. They have live stuff now, but it was the craziest thing I've ever seen because when you film it, the studio, it's set up where there's like 500 cameras.
Yeah.
Whatever, right? While you're watching it, you pick what cameras you want to watch. So when they have a concert, the house band there, the dude who's the drummer, who's the leader, just finished doing the music for Avatar. There were like 60 Grammys between the five guys. I mean, it was off the charts good. And the special was freaking, you know how you can tell if it's good. It was really good. It was just weird. My buddy Gary Chapman does this show on there called Pickin' and Grinnin', and he had a show on TNN for years, and we've been friends forever. So it's the weirdest special I think I could have pulled off because I did my stand-up special. Yeah. Then he interviewed me, right? Well,
like post-game.
Like post-game. Like you come over and sit and talk and went through things in my act, and we were talking about where it came from. Well, we've been friends so long. I was like, dude, I don't want to know your questions because I want it to be real. I don't want it to be like, let's see. We sit down, and he goes, why don't you give me your testimony on being an alcoholic and how you got sober? And I was like, okay. And
we're on the air?
And we're on the air. And the whole thing is on the air. And, dude, I talked about almost dying, detoxing. I talked about God. I talked about how I got sober. Right. I talked about what it's like to be. I mean, I went through every single thing. And by the end of it, it was like I just gave my entire self. Like, not just the stand-up part, but the personal, deep, vulnerable stuff.
So you do the hour, you film the hour, and then how long are you being interviewed for? Like another
20
minutes?
The whole thing ended up being like 80 minutes.
So you have so is that going to be part of the hour? Like you watch the hour, it's over, you walk over, you do the interview, and you're essentially breaking down kind of your hour and yourself.
Yeah, and a lot of my act is about that right now, but it was. It went. People were dying laughing, and then I'm looking at the crowd, and there's ladies crying. Like it was so different than anything.
They couldn't get refunded, or
no, because they were so happy they could see me. Yeah, because they couldn't get their money back. They're like, I didn't pay for this. But it was so. I've just never seen anything like that, and we didn't mean for it to be like that.
Sure.
It just kind of.
But you were also open to it, though. That's probably the big reason why it was resonant with people is that you gave yourself to the moment.
Yeah. Right. Oh, 100%. Yeah. A lot more vulnerable than I would have ever imagined I would have been.
Would you have been that open had you just come out and been interviewed, or do you feel that that the stand-up kind of opened the gateway to all accessibility within your mindset for him to go, oh, we'll just see where this goes, and you're open as via the stand-up? Did that?
You know the feeling you have when you get done shooting a special, where you're so like, you've been waiting for it, and then you get there, and everything's just so amplified and it was really smart on his part. I do talk about it because I do want people, if you're an alcoholic and you're having trouble, you can message me.
Sure.
I don't care.
Yeah.
Or at least try to find a way. I know what it's like. I know what it feels like. Right. I know. And you kind of just throw yourself out to be slaughtered because I know people go, oh, you believe in God and you this and that. And I don't give a shit. Yes, I do. And I don't give a shit. But I was a lot more vulnerable because I was so amped up from shooting it that it was like, oh man,
Might as well.
Yeah, but it's just it's so. I did it Saturday. I still can't wrap my head around it.
Wow, it's pretty interesting. I've never heard of like going immediately to like an interview and almost like being interviewed or like breaking down your hour. And I think you were saying like like learning via osmosis how certain bits were played out on stage via your personal experiences. There you go.
It was weird, and then it made my act make more sense in a sense of there was real meaning behind it as opposed to just sitting there. But it was so much fun. And it was so.
And so this is going to be on Hitcore.
It's on Hitcore.
So you literally just filmed it. So it's going to be a minute. But
it's going to be a while. Yeah,
it's a new streaming service.
Yep.
And you said they just done D.L. Hughley.
They did D.L. Hughley. They did Lavelle Crawford.
Did
a thing on there.
Hitters, yeah.
And then they had Diana Krall did a concert. The camera stuff is cool for comedy, but for music, it's sick. Because like if you like, guitar solos and they have a band on there, you can pick your own camera for what angle, because it's live.
Sure.
So mine is for what's called encore, and then I'm going to go back and do a live one.
So you could literally just keep on the backup dancers the whole thing.
The whole time if you want to. Yeah.
That's pretty interesting.
It's an interesting thing.
It's a crazy world we live in, Reno.
It is, buddy.
Yeah, but that's pretty cool. So when are you thinking? Have you gotten any word when you?
Probably about 6 months. It's going to be a minute. Yeah,
you're going to be okay.
It's they haven't fully launched. They've launched with some commercial. I know they're doing In Vogue is doing a concert live, and then the Isaacs are doing a Christmas concert. And dude, I just had a freaking blast, and the people were so nice. And,
that's great.
Yeah.
So this will be new, and you can find this. You can get all details off your website on Craigslist, correct?
Yeah, Craigslist or any bathroom
Penny
stall,
saver,
whatever you want. I don't care. Truck stops
for a good time.
Yeah, I'll sell it.
I miss those days. For a good time, call. Let's get into this.
It never was a good time.
It never was a good time.
It was always a really bad time.
Here we go. Jim Jeffries is our first comic today. Any thoughts on Jim Jeffries?
I have seen him destroy rooms. I've seen him walk.
Oh yeah,
rooms.
Yeah,
I've seen, but his type of comedy isn't my favorite. But I love that he just comes out and could care less.
Could care less. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And and timing and everything's brilliant. I mean, he's tight. The foreign accent I like too.
And he's not. He's not. You some guys when you watch him on stage, it's like, oh, it's a persona.
Yeah.
He's not that dangerous. He's not that. It's like Jim lives and dies by the sword for sure. I have a lot of respect for Jim Jeffries. All right.
Yeah, me too.
Let's watch a little Jim Jeffries here.
Bonjour. I love this city, man. This is the third time I've been here. Fantastic. I am an Australian. I lived in the UK for like 10 years. Now I live in LA, and I do a lot of traveling with this job. I go to Iraq once a year to entertain the troops. Thank you. Thanks. Now, the first time I went out there, they flew me and my manager into Kuwait in a normal passenger plane, right? Then a military truck drives me and my manager over the border into Iraq and drops us off, and that truck pisses off. And we're standing in the middle of the desert of a war-torn country. I can't see anything on the horizon. And I turn to my manager and go, "Good booking, dickhead." Then this helicopter comes in over the horizon and lands in front of us. And this soldier runs off and goes, "Are you Jim Jeffries?" And I was like, "What other white guy were you looking for in the desert at this exact location, big guy?" Then he handed me my bulletproof vest and my helmet. Now, obviously, he was wearing his. His was camouflaged. Mine, blue. And I said, "Why do I have a blue vest and helmet?" He said, "Well, that's so the enemy know you're a civilian." And I was like, "Does the enemy give a shit? That's my main concern." Because I've never been a sniper, but every time I got off the helicopter, I was surrounded by soldiers protecting me. If I was a sniper, I'd be like, "The guy in blue looks important." So we get off in this helicopter. I'm sitting here. I got two soldiers sitting next to me there. My manager's sitting there. He's got two soldiers sitting next to him there. There's a couple of soldiers in the cockpit. I got a great big door open next to me there. There's another big door open there, and at that door there's a soldier with a big gun on a hinge with bullets coming out of it like that thing that Chewbacca wears. And we take off, and off we go to Baghdad. And as we hit the border of the city, I hear a great big bang! And these two small flares shoot out from the small wings of the helicopter, followed by a trail of smoke. And then the helicopter went. Now, the reason they do this is, when they get over the danger area, if there's a heat-seeking missile, it'll be distracted by the flares, and then the helicopter will fly to range. Very clever. Now, they didn't tell me this was happening. As far as I'm concerned, the wings have just exploded. And we're now plummeting to our death. And it's nice to know how you react under pressure, because I reacted thusly by vomiting over my lovely blue vest, ironically making it more camouflage than it was before. And yelling out, "We're going down!" The pilots and the gunner, they're all pissing themselves laughing. They've been waiting for this joke for months. They're all high-fiving. I'm cleaning vomit off myself going, "Oh, you guys, you're a lot of fun. That was great. Thank you for defending my freedom," right? So I'm feeling all queasy, and I'm just looking out the door over Baghdad. By the way, Baghdad, beautiful city, untouched. And I look out and I see a little Arab fella with a handgun shooting up at the helicopter. Just once again I freak out. "We're being fired on!" The gunner now is laughing even harder than he was before. He's laughing so hard, he stopped doing his job. He's like killed over laughing. The gun's dangling out in a hinge. I'm like, "What's your problem?" And he's like, "Jim, you're gonna have to calm down. We're in a military helicopter with a bulletproof bottom. That's a handgun. We're so high up, the bullets can't even reach us. They just sort of go." And then I jokingly said, "I bet our bullets can reach him." And he went, "Oh, yeah." And the little guy died. And I was like, I was just saying, mate, I didn't want to ruin anyone's day. Thank you very much, Montreal.
Jim Jeffries. Yeah. You've done USO stuff.
Yeah, bunch.
So I mean, we've all, I think, have experiences like this. So I think if I was in the audience, I'd be like, "Holy shit!" But we all have stories like that and have heard stories like that. So I'm a little more like, okay, yeah. I mean, that's every trip you do.
I was kind of thinking the same thing. I was like, "Yeah, that's right. That's right."
Pretty. Yeah, it's very accurate. And there's spiral landings. There's different types of landings.
Yeah, that battle when they come in the C-130s flying.
Yeah.
My buddy PJ Walsh was with me on one of them, and he was in a helicopter, a Black Hawk ahead of us, and you could see the tracers firing up. And we landed, and he's like, "Dude, did you see him shooting at us?" I go, "I know." And that was our troops that had to sit through your show.
I was in a C-130, and the same thing, the flares and the thing, and it was me, Bobby Kelly, and Colin Quinn, and they said, "Hey, we have room for two to sit in the cockpit." So Colin and I went to the cockpit, and Bobby Kelly was in the back, and it's the same thing, all this stuff. And Colin's like, "How great is it? We actually know what's going down, but Bobby's going to think he's going to die by himself."
Yeah.
It's like,
it's so dude, great. It was weird because like they had a kid up there on a computer. The airplane was so old, and I'm up there going like, "This is all you have." Putting this together, like this is what you guys are flying, because those planes are so old. One of them had an oven. Did you see that one?
No,
we
what?
cooked a frozen pizza.
Shut up.
I swear to you. I know. I swear it sounds like bullshit. It's totally true. Behind the pod thing, there was a little oven, and they had frozen pizzas in there, and you just throw it in.
That is so crazy.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, but it is weird when you're on those C-130s too, because they're fucking massive. Yeah, I mean, it's like being in. So the best way to describe it is like, imagine 3 buses.
Yeah.
Completely empty. Take 2 buses. Maybe that's the width of it.
Right.
Maybe 3 buses, and then maybe 5 buses long. And then sometimes you're on with a regiment of troops.
Right.
I don't know how much
or
regiment.
Supplies.
It was like 200 troops. And then other times it's just you and 2 other comics. And it's like this huge plane just for you guys to get to a base. It's pretty wild.
Did you pee on it? with that flapping
Oh,
thing.
the little yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a wild experience. The helicopters, though, I've been on a few Black Hawks, and there was one time they let us shoot the rounds off
50
in the
cal.
desert. Yeah, but
Yeah.
you see it spark against the sand. It was wild. And I asked the guy, I go, can I take my shirt off? Just why? I was like, well, I grew up with Rambo. And I always just wanted to do like that. I go, yeah. He's like, no, we're not doing fucking Rambo, Steve. You can shoot the fucking gun.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
Will you put like a foreign uniform on and run?
Well, that was classic Jim Jeffries, great. And you could tell, like when you're listening to it, like those are lines. He said that to his manager. It's like that is his biting sarcasm. And who else did you think you're fucking looking for out
Right.
there? That's Jim. It's very, very him. That
His
story.
timing and he even in that bit, you know, for Montreal, a gala, you have to you can't go full guns
Right.
blazing because it's on TV, whatever. But even that, he's so committed to the line and what he's doing and unfazed by the audience, really. You know what I mean? Like he's not.
To your point, I think that you watch these galas. So a lot of people don't know what the gala is. The gala is Just for Laughs, biggest comedy festival once a year in Montreal. They film it. These are aired all over Canada. And to your point, I think most comics want to go. It's like, oh, I got the bet. I know a bit that's going to destroy this thing. That's a good bit.
Yeah.
It doesn't kill. It's not a bad bit. It's just a good story. And it's a good story because it's real. It's life and death stakes. So you're really invested in it. You know, it's like he could potentially die.
Yeah.
He's talking about it. Obviously, he's got the blue helmet, right?
Right.
But I think it's one of those bits where he does it not as a comic. I'm sitting there going, I really respect him for choosing that bit.
I do
At a
too.
gala, especially because it's a serviceable story. It's a really, really good bit. It doesn't kill. It's not crushing.
Right.
But it's not intended to. It's just an authentic experience that he's sharing that you're not going to hear that throughout the course of the whole gala, other than Jim telling the story, because he's one of the few that probably did a USO show. So when I'm watching it, I'm going, man, I'm really, I would never have done that. Like
That
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
have
take
been-
any of my USO. I don't think I've ever taken USO stuff and put it in my act even. I have a few stories I've told on radio, but for him to commit to it, do it, I thought that was pretty cool.
I rolled the dice at mine, and it made me so much more nervous because Craig Fitzsimmons was like, dude, don't say anything about French people, whatever, something that he'd said to him. And I was like, dude, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
I was so amped up, and George Lopez was hosting it, and I was going right before Damon Wayans and in between like Louis C.K. Like it was a crazy gala. And my opening joke was, I walk out and I go, man, Montreal. I didn't know there was so much French food, you know? I went out to lunch with my agent today and I ordered a roast beef sandwich and the waiter was like, "A jus?" And I was like, hell yeah, he is, and he's smart too. And it was one of those like you say it was one of those like you say
It must have crushed
and you
there,
brace.
right?
It did. But it was one of those like if this doesn't go well,
The rest
the
of the set,
next
yeah.
8 minutes are going to be really hard to.
And now Reno Collier, and I'm all in, Lopez.
That's right.
That is great.
Let's
That's a
see
great.
what happens.
That line, you would just
Yeah.
That's so fucking funny. That's great. I'm glad it went well. All right, here we go. Number 2, who we got here in the envelope. Love this guy.
Love that dude.
Chris Porter. There's very few like comics that could also be rock stars.
Yeah.
Like legit could be a rock star. He is one of them.
I was thinking rock and roll comic like.
What's that? Yeah, he
I'm
did
sorry,
something with Shine
I'm sorry.
Down Here,
Who is
right?
this?
Yeah, that's sorry. He's a. Where's your name tag? Fucking asshole! Don't talk to the talent. God damn.
Didn't you hear I just did a special on a network that hasn't launched yet?
Yeah. Go back.
I've
to
got the
sleep on your
T-shirt on
sandwich.
for God's sake.
All right. Well, let's watch a little Chris Porter. I think you can tell we both really respect the guy. We love him. Not only is he one of the best hangs off stage, but I like when he's genuinely committed to bits because he's like when he's angry, or he's that's not forced. It's like it's part of the act, but it's also like no, that's him.
Yeah.
You know. All right.
Yeah.
Here's a little Chris Porter.
He's a great guy too.
Google is not an answer engine. It's a search engine. It doesn't tell you when you're being a dumbass. It just connects you with 80,000 other dumbasses that think the same dumbass shit you do.
And that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Do you know how fucking stupid people can get on Google? I wanted to find out, so I started Googling the dumbest shit I could think of. I Googled, the sun is bullshit. You know the sun, the S-U-N, the ball of fire in the sky that says, hey, it's daytime. We've heard a lot of debate in our lifetime. No one, to my knowledge, has debated the existence of the sun. I thought we were all 100% on the sun. Do you know what should have happened when I Googled the sun is bullshit? Nothing. Nothing should have fucking happened. Nothing should have come up on my screen. Some sort of alarm should have gone off at Google headquarters, and they should have choppered authorities to my apartment. And I should have had to explain in triplicate why the fuck I just Googled the sun is bullshit. That's what the fuck should have happened. But do you know what happened? A bunch of shit came up. Yeah, there are people in this world that think this whole sun theory we have is just a little too easy. I don't believe that we as a nation should ever round people up due to their beliefs. But should we ever start, we need to start with these window lickers. All right? That's an easy vetting process. Hey man, sun real? Yeah, move along. Hey man, sun real? Psh, I don't even know. Fucking get in the truck. And then you drive the truck to Arizona in August and you fucking leave them. And you come back 3 days later and you go, hey, what you think about the sun now?
That's great.
That is.
Great bit.
Yeah.
Very funny. And a bit you've never heard before.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like there's tropes, there's the standard, okay, this is his take on it. Never heard anything close to that. That was fucking hilarious. The premise itself gets a laugh. The sun is bullshit.
Right.
It's like, all right, I'm in. How long is this going? And it's one of those things where it's just like, if you kept calling it back or made it part of the act, like the whole, it was just like, it'd be so fucking funny.
It's funny.
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah. And the fact that the sun isn't real. He's right. You know what I mean? Like, he plays both sides of it.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, you know, hey, I'm going to be on this side, but I know it's not right. You know what I mean? He knows it. He knows what he's saying is a lie.
He knows.
You know,
He
but that's what's so
knows.
funny about him
Yeah.
is he knows he's lying. Because, I mean, that's just silly.
Classic Reno.
You know what I mean? Hit core. You can see
Here we
all
go.
the greatness on Hit core. I'm sorry. That was...
The new special on Hit Core. Well, look, I love Chris Porter. He's one of those guys, I think he is very underrated.
Yeah.
He doesn't play like that mainstream game where he's in Hollywood. He's not going to party. He's not a Hollywood politician like some comics that have done very well for themselves are, you know?
Yeah.
But he's a guy that's just like, I think he's happy being a road dog. Like, he's a road dog through and through. He loves working the road, and he's constantly creating new material. He's not somebody that's just at the factory pulling down the lever, the same bit every day for 30 years. He's always generating new stuff, and I have a lot of respect for Chris Porter.
Yeah, I'm with you, dude. And he, you know, I know he hangs out with like Black Crows and stuff. He
Kid
kind of,
Rock
he has that kind of. Well, I was going to leave Kid Rock out because I was about to use the word artist, but he has like Kid Rock's an artist. But come on, I mean, you know what I mean? Like, but he has that artist kind of feel. To like, if he pulled out a guitar halfway through and just started going, you know what I mean? Like, you'd.
An amazing CrossFit guy as well.
Is he?
Porter? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's yoked.
Yeah.
That dude is fucking absolutely yoked. And
Like
you never
Josh
wanna,
Wolf.
Yeah, you never want to laugh at somebody that can kick your ass. But it's like Josh Wolf is like superhero yoked.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, but just because somebody's in shape doesn't mean they can kick your ass.
I know, but Porter's legit. Porter's also like 6'8".
Yeah, he's a big boy. Yeah.
And he is Diesel.
Yeah.
Like generally Diesel, yeah. And it is funny to see that he hangs out with Brad Williams because Chris Porter could be one of the tallest comics and Brad
Right.
Williams should be on his shoulder, I guess.
Right.
But yeah.
yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's see. Number 3.
Dude, I'm so jacked up on coffee. I'm sorry if I'm just.
All right, Nick Mullen.
I don't know him.
I don't know Nick Mullen. Is this new comic out of where? Out of Baltimore? East Coast guy? So is he okay. Blew up on podcasts. Okay, Nick Mullen. Not as familiar, so this is virgin territory for me and for you as well?
Yeah.
Okay. Nick Mullen, I guess out of Baltimore. Here we go.
And I went to see that really like pandering, saccharine Sandra Bullock movie, The Blind Side. I'm sure most of you are familiar with it. She won Best Actress. If you're not familiar with the movie, basic premise is there's a black guy who doesn't know how to do anything at all until Sandra Bullock shows him how. It's really an uplifting story. Why it's so insulting is because they establish right at the beginning of the film that he's not retarded. The character's not retarded. He's not stupid. I'm not trying to be funny. He's not stupid. They tell you about his test scores. They tell you he's not an idiot. But the entire film they treat him like he's radio. And like he's just supposed to be this charity case, and he's not. And like I get it. It's Hollywood. It's supposed to be an emotional movie. Like you know the character is homeless. That's why Sandra Bullock brings him into their house. That's why he's living with them. She knows that he doesn't have a family. And there's this one scene that's in the previews where she takes him up to his bedroom and she's like, well, here's your bed and here's your dresser. And if you need anything, right down the hall, just come holler at us, okay? Just come holler at us. And he says, thanks, I've never had one before. And she says, what, a room to yourself? He goes, no, a bed. And it's really sad and she has to go cry. I'll give you that scene. I'll give you that tug at my heartstrings. But literally 10 minutes later, they're in the bookstore, and she picks up a copy of Where the Wild Things Are, and she's like, oh, this is such a good book. I used to read this to my kids all the time. Michael, did your mom ever? Like, you know damn well he doesn't have a mom. Just being a bitch at that point. I went to the bathroom. I half expected to come back in 10 minutes later, and she's like, Michael, is this your first time riding in a hot air balloon? Is this your first time? Have you ever been fitted for a monocle before, Michael? Michael, how's the golden toilet? No, you don't need to get up to wipe. It'll just blow champagne into your It's great. This is how white people live on the west side of town. That's our whole movie.
I thought it was great.
Very funny.
Hilarious.
Yeah, I'm glad to have watched Nick Mullen. This bit is, as you pointed out, a little older, so it's got to be. How old is this? 4 or 5 years ago? Okay. So, yeah, I'll tell you, the only thing I didn't like is that there's just a long setup to this. It gets a while to get to.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what preceded this too, because sometimes whatever preceded it could help bring you into it. But if you're watching like somebody's hour set, you have gaps in time. That's fine. I think to just start from 0, it took a while to get to 60.
Yeah.
But even like when he's like, he's not retarded. Like there could have been a joke there, and he was just like, no, literally, he could, maybe that's a line that on another night kills. But the punch itself is really fucking funny. It's great.
Yeah.
That was my only thing. Like as we're watching this, if we're critiquing, that would be my only thing. But the payoff was worth the wait to me. But it was just there's a little fat up top. That's all.
I was offended by the word blind. Did you have to do that?
Okay. All right. Okay, to number 4. That was so fucking funny. Reno. Will you give me my favorite New York comic impersonating a Southerner again?
Yeah. Hey, y'all, I just got done taking a big old shit.
When you told that story like 2 episodes ago, that is like a ringtone that comes into my head at least once every 4 or 5 days, and I just start fucking giggling like a kid.
I want to know. No one ever knows who the
Who the
comic
guy
is because it was Foxworthy, Ingvall, Vic Henley, all went up one after the other, and the story is just. And then this guy from New York walks up and goes, "Hey, let me give you an impression of every Southern comedian we've seen so far tonight." Hey, y'all, I just got done taking a big old shit. And like, you know that like, and dude, when I toured with Cable Guy, I have been around Southern comedy, and that is wrapped up more brilliantly than anything. And no Southern comic would go, he's just wrong. You know what I mean? They're like, damn, somebody got us. They figured out our math.
All right. Here we go. Number 4. This is.
Oh, good.
Oh, shit. Oh, this is. Okay, it's one of us. Okay. And Reno, now the laughter stops.
Dude, you're one. I've shown people that clip of you in San Diego at the news thing. That was absolutely hysterical.
Oh, thank you.
They set you up beautifully with the first one. And then when you came out, I don't want to ruin it in case somebody wants to look it up. But
Last episode
hysterical.
could be one of my favorite episodes, only because you're seeing comics out their element in the morning talk show. We talked about it. We set it all up. So if you haven't watched that episode, definitely go back and check her out.
Yeah.
But okay, this is the last episode. This was. Oh, okay. Well, this is from my 3rd special, Champion. Champion.
Dude,
This
you
is
have like 5, don't you?
5, yeah.
That's fantastic.
3 of them. I just signed a 3 comic special deal with Hitcore. So it's gonna be my next 3 will come. Okay, here we go.
Damn it.
I love movies. I love movie quotes. Here's what I'll do. We'll just grease the wheels. I'll give you guys a movie quote. You tell me the movie it is from. All right, here's a movie quote. I made him an offer he couldn't refuse. Godfather, wrong. Brokeback Mountain. Actually, it's from. Ooh, that was the easy one. So, come on, guys, redeem yourselves. Movie quote number 2. We're gonna need a bigger boat. Jaws, wrong again. Precious. Actually, it's from. Speaking of which, I hate to say this, and I'm sorry, but anytime I see a fat girl go to use the bathroom, I assume she's taking a shit. Fat girls don't pee. Google it. To me, they're like pencils. It's always number 2.
That's the applause break.
Oh, yeah.
On a shit joke.
You know what, though? I've never put it into words, but I think the same thing.
When you see a fat girl go use the bathroom,
Yeah, it's never like
shit.
she's going to pee. It's like, come on, Biggin. There's a telephone pole coming out. Dude. By the way, Biggin, terrible choice of words to call a woman. They hate Biggin worse than about anything. But dude, you do kind of, even a fat guy though. Like when a fat guy, near a truck stop or something, some guy you're like, oh no, man.
He's gonna
do it.
Let's get Billy in there before he's got it. Before the big man gets out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God,
Dude, I love the premise of the switch on the movies. Because I've never seen anybody do that in a way where, somebody will say, hey, this line from a movie and make fun of it, but not, you're wrong.
the traditional movie.
Yeah.
I hadn't seen it before, and I was just I was looking for a good opener. I was like, oh, this could be fun. Everybody loves movies, so
Precious, that was hysterical.
Precious is a good one. They edited out the other one, which I think these days I couldn't say anyway, so I'll tell you
What
off
is
air,
it? Come on, man. What you got? You had balls enough to say it once. Let's see what you got now.
Well, let's just say I'll be opening for Kanye West next week if I say it.
As you? Hell yeah, isn't he smart, too?
And that'll do it. Another episode of Comedy Pinata in the books. Or the tour.
Yeah.
There we go. All right, we did it.